Here is step 2 for your house on the hill drawing project. For this step, I'm going to give you just a scrap of paper, kind of waxy paper, that you are always going to keep in your art book. So if I haven't given this to you, please remind me, second graders. So what you're going to do with this paper, the reason we have it is to protect the other pieces of paper when we use markers, because markers will bleed through this thin drawing paper. So every time that you are using markers, every time you're drawing on a piece, I want you to slide this paper underneath, and again, it'll protect other pages from the markers bleeding through. So you'll need that. And then I'm going to give you a thick marker and just a fine point Sharpie marker. So you'll have a thick one and a thinner one. And what you're going to do is you're going to start with outlining your house. So we're going to make our house black. So just going over very carefully all of those pencil lines with your house. You can go ahead and get started. And then if I am going too fast, you can always pause the video. Be super careful. Taking your time to stay on your pencil line. If your marker looks like it's running out of ink, let me know, we'll get you a new one. So we'll just concentrate on the house first. Before you color the house in, I'd like you to outline around the windows and the door. Just outline everything first before we do any coloring in. If your windows are teeny tiny, I'd like you to try to continue to use this thicker marker, but if it's so teeny tiny, then we'll get you a thinner, ultra fine point. I have a couple of those I can give out to use. But try this first. Let me know if it's just not working. So right here.
Good morning, WLC family. We have a change in the lunch menu.
Oh.
So we will
Sorry
need
for the
new
announcements.
lunch sheets sent down to the kitchen. Your first choice is still the same. It's the barbecue rib sandwich, but choice 2 is a ham and cheese sandwich. So please make your selection, fill out your lunch sheet,
You get to hear
and
this
send it to the
twice
lunchroom.
this week.
Choice 1, barbecue rib sandwich. Choice 2, ham and cheese.
Okay,
Thank you.
so after you outline your whole house, I want you to color in. And when you're coloring in with a marker, I want you to take your time going in one direction. I start at the top and work my way down. And then sometimes it's easier just to move your book around and kind of follow in one direction until you fill in that space across. Like right now I'm just concentrating going around my door and my window, making sure you're coloring inside the house nice and solid black. Except for the windows, we'll do yellow. Will look like those windows are lit up. I'm just going to color in my roof black too. So I'm going to go in this direction, going around very carefully. You might even want to go around your windows first, just to create that larger border so that no chance that you'll color inside those windows with your black marker. Especially over here, the windows are so teeny tiny, so just be extra careful to go gently around those windows and not color inside. So we can add a little yellow. Looks like the lights are turned on. Careful around here. Okay. Okay, so you have your house. Then what I want you to go ahead and do as well is your tree. I want you to outline everything actually, just to make it stand out. So outline that hill. It's okay if you go over the tree because you're going to color in your tree. So outlining your tree and then coloring it in just like what we did for the house. Please do that as well. These are things I want you to do first, and then you're going to have freedom to add whatever you like to your house on the hill, your creepy house on the hill. But these are steps I'd like you to take first before you do that. Make sure you don't forget any pencil lines. Outlining first and then coloring it in. This one's trickier, so notice I'm just kind of lifting up my marker and making small marks carefully inside the branches so it stays inside the branches. Your goal is to stay inside the line. Making it black. We'd call this a silhouette, so the silhouette of a tree. If you ever notice when it's sunrise or sunset, when the sunrise is behind the trees just look black like shadows. It's kind of the same concept, except we have the moon instead, which is, when it's full like this, can be almost just as bright as the sun. So I want you to try this. I'm just making really long lines. Long line strokes all the way down. And then be careful towards the bottom. I like to make it thicker. And I'll finish those long lines. Okay. Alrighty. Go ahead and outline around your moon. Try your best to outline around the moon. And then what you're going to do now, once you've outlined around the moon, I want you to take your thick black marker and you're going to color in that space. So same kind of idea what I said for the tree. Let's double check and make sure our markers work well. If they don't, let me know. What I want you to do is kind of do nice long strokes, marker strokes, starting from one side and going across, or starting from the top and going down. So carefully going around the moon, controlling, not getting into the moon at all, keeping that circle. Once you get closer to the edge, then you're just going to be outline it a little bit more, be extra careful. It's a little tricky with this binding of the art book. Don't worry too much about that, just be careful. Okay, and go back over here. And then you're gonna go back over here. Now, this might cut off some of your tree. You might lose some of your tree branch when you do this part. That's okay. Be super careful by the edge. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut off my tree branch right here. It's just gonna melt with the darkness. I won't see it. Okay. Alrighty. Whew. And then the last thing to outline is that road. You can do that. And that little sidewalk. So this is the time you can kind of start to think about what do you want to add to your drawing, adding color-wise. So using crayons. One thing I think would be cool if you added yellow to the windows to look like that the lights are on. So just going all over your windows. Ooh, I just realized I forgot something. Should color this in right here. There we go. And then you can decide what you want to do for the door. You could keep it white, or you could make it, I don't know, I might go ahead and make a purple door. Make it stand out a little bit. This is also, if you want to add designs, I would definitely add with pencil first before you get in with marker. So some of you already did this, but you can go ahead, you know, we could do kind of like a pumpkin. You could do anything that's, you know, represents Halloween. This is kind of a cool thing you could try, maybe doing jack-o'-lanterns along the sidewalk. So if you're drawing them right up at the bottom, making them nice and big. I might just do pumpkins for now. But you could make them into jack-o'-lanterns, and then as you draw them along the sidewalk, they're just going to get smaller and smaller to show distance. So if I do another one, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then a little smaller. So I'm just giving you ideas right here. A little smaller. You don't have to do this. And then teeny tiny when it gets all the way over there. Another thing you could do is, I don't know, you could do like a bat or a cat. Maybe I'll do a kitty cat right here. And maybe a silhouette of a kitty cat. Ooh. And I'll color that in black. What else? Maybe a ghost hiding behind the tree. Oh. No. And then you can go ahead and outline them. Again, if you need a smaller marker to do any finer detail, please let me know. I'm going to stick with this one, but you know, some of you might want to try something different. I think I'm going to outline these as well. So this is kind of, you know, you choose what you'd like to do. You don't have to outline the designs that you've drawn. Up to you though. So like that teeny tiny pumpkin, I got these thinner markers I can hand out too. You might need that, but please ask if you need one. That'll make it a little easier. And then I'm gonna outline my ghost. And then yeah, adding color. So for your sidewalk, I think of nice, like a lighter shade of brown, or maybe a lighter black, kind of makes a gray. But I'm gonna do that for my sidewalk. And then, you know, pumpkins. You want to think about what you want to add for the ground. I guess this white might work because there's snow on the ground right now. But I don't know, it's probably gonna melt this week. So to kind of keep this kind of Halloween, using a little shade of orange and mixing a little bit of brown and orange, kind of makes a nice themed, haunted theme of a house. So when I say mixing, really lightly shading, not pushing down too hard, but kind of gives it that look that all the leaves are covering up the ground. You can do a little bit of green in there too. That'd be kind of nice. Be careful around any of the designs. Make sure you fill it in. Be careful along the edge. When I'm doing this, I'm going just back and forth, horizontal, but the edge of the paper, this paper is so thin that it gets a little tricky along the edge right here. So just don't go too fast. Be gentle along the edge so that paper doesn't rip. So I'm just putting a light shade of brown down first, and then I'm going to go back over with my orange and my green. So really light. Just blending with crayon. Okay. So yeah. Follow the steps and outlining with marker, coloring in those areas with marker, and then add your designs with pencil. Okay. And there's your haunted house on a hill.